welcome to the Pacifist Podcast. Thanks a lot for joining us. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it helps us do something. We're not sure what, but we're pretty sure if we get enough likes, something happens. Something is happening, by the way, that I'm not very happy about. It's not happening this week, but by next week you'll have it.
Yay!
Just before Sam starts giving me a hard time about it. Full complement tonight. All of us are here. As you can see, Sophie's in her normal dungeon. Jesus is in the tower. Sam's on the set of a porn shoot, obviously.
Yeah, it's a really weird themed one. We've got Harry Potter and then pinkish, shiny props.
Yeah.
Maybe that's out of the headmistress's room. You know,
No.
the pink lady that took over.
Oh, God.
From her.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
How do you not know?
That's who's coming around after the podcast.
Do you want to explain?
The pink lady takes over Hogwarts with the cats.
Oh, Dolores Umbridge.
Yes.
I call her the pink lady.
She's the pink lady.
The pink lady.
See, what's happened there, Sophie?
How could you not know who the pink lady is in Harry Potter?
Sam is such a Harry Potter that he's so ingrained in the facts that he couldn't even make that connection.
Down.
Is it like the pink lady? That must be a house ghost that I've never heard of, or something like that.
But the problem is, Mushi, there's a house ghost called the Grey Lady.
Yeah, but I said pink.
Yeah, but
I forget you're colourblind.
Always disability shaming.
Wow, that's got to be a new record as well.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? 1.5 minutes in?
That's impressive. That's impressive. So,
hey, Sophie, what's going on with your roots, by the way?
I know. It's quick growth hair, isn't it?
I don't fucking know.
I definitely don't know.
Oh, I can't turn my head. You know that episode, well, not the episode, the Simpsons movie where they're put under the dome and the news anchor has run out of Botox and he's got all his skin stapled up at the back.
Yeah.
Because it's all sagging forwards. That's what's happening with my hair at the moment. From the front, it looks okay, but if I was to turn even too far to the side, it would just... Yeah,
you got a ponytail back there.
No, it's more like a Texas top hat, which I'm starting to think should come back. I've just shaved the sides a little bit and just rock it. But bring out my hillbilly. Got a hillbilly wagon up front. It's
what I would do to be able to grow a mullet, I tell you.
Oh,
if I could, I would straight away. I'm so tempted to like either handlebar stash myself or just give myself some fat old mutton chops.
Oh.
I just can't bring myself up. I can't build up the courage enough because someone did once very honestly tell me that I have a chin shaped like a bollock. And it's kind of got me a bit on edge, and ever since then I've never shaved my chin.
Have you done that thing where you shave everything else but your chin? It's always got a weird look. You got like no moustache, but you just got a big chin bit.
That's what I used to do.
Oh,
you look like an Amish man, like you're off to build a barn or something.
Oh Lord, right, dear. Anyway, should we tell everybody what we're talking about this evening? Because you might have noticed Mushu's backgrounds always sort of have a slight indication. It's a bit like the opening sequence of bad TV shows. It's a bit of a giveaway if you haven't read the title.
We're talking about yin and yang and the correct way to channel chi. Oh no, sorry, life and death. That's where we're going. Life and death. Just general life and death. Nothing too specific, because let's face it, they're quite broad subjects.
Also, we're not renowned for being able to stay on subject, are we? So there's no real point in going too specific about things.
I was actually thinking about this yesterday and thinking that the word topic might be a bit of a piss take. It might just like general theme.
Theme works better for sure.
Possibly occurring instance. I don't know.
Start a sentence.
I don't know that we can describe it as a topic anymore.
I like to think that what it is we start with a subject and then we just go down the rabbit hole. Every single time it just leads us to darker places,
which is good, but I always end up lying in bed after we've done one of these episodes and thinking like, I know what I wanted to say. Bollocks.
That's why you need paper and pen.
I didn't want to say bollocks. Like it was like done. I forgot.
Nailed it. If you did want to talk bollocks, though, you're fucking brilliant at that.
Yeah, that's true. How many episodes in now? Good Lord. Yeah,
37, I think.
So yeah, life and death. What do you want to do? Which side of it do you want to go down first? Do you want to do the positive? Do you want to do the negative?
Well, being as you've asked the question, why don't you lead us off with a positive? Because I honestly don't know what you mean.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Neither do I really. No, I was thinking like life or death. Which subject do you want to go down? Sort of. Do you want to talk about life first? Do you want to talk about death first, or are you going to switch between the two? This is possibly something we should have talked about beforehand, but hey ho. Let's go with life then. For you, the meaning of life. A simple question. What for you, Sam, is the meaning?
Well, okay. Funnily, I remember asking my mum this question when I was about 8, and her answer was sort of exactly the whole point of a mayfly, just to breed. She's like, easy to have babies. And I was like, that can't be all there is to life. And subsequently, I've had kids, and they are kind of all-consuming. I mean, I like them quite a lot. They take up quite a lot of my time. They also take up quite a lot of my money. Expensive habits. But yeah, so when I was about 8, she told me the meaning of life was to just breed. And Sophie, you're absolutely right. Biologically speaking, that I suppose is the answer. I mean, because you sort of go into weird realms. If you start thinking about it too much, you're just like, to leave the world in a better place than you found it in the first place. But I mean, none of us can really do that. Because
that's a personal thing, though, not like a generalization into the meaning of life.
Well, but how about, I think we could all agree that biologically speaking, breeding is the meaning of life. I mean, you look at any race, any creature, any species, and it's all the same. Like they literally, they get born, they grow up, they breed, they die.
They eat shit, sleep, breed, and die.
Yeah, just natural life cycles. But I'm thinking like more like philosophical meaning of life. Like, what is it that you would consider your life? What is the meaning to you, to your life? Like for me personally, let me answer first. For instance, for me personally, if I can go out of this world having had a better impact on people, like leaving it a slightly better place in whatever way, like even if I've greatly improved someone's life, I think in the karma of things, as long as it's been, because I know I piss a lot of people off as well, but as long as it balances
You're great at that, I'll tell you that one.
As long as it balances out that I generally leave the world a better place, I think I'm happy that my life purpose would have been complete. I would be happy that with my life, you know.
Like, I get what you're saying there.
Not that your kids grow up to be good people. I've just that.
Listen, I'm going to do the best for my kids. After that, they're on their own. I learned most of my lessons after, like I learned the normal shit from my parents, but I learned most of my lessons after I left home anyway. So, and they'll do the same. All I can do is prepare them for that. So no, they'll take care of themselves.
Sophie, being as you don't have kids, Mushi, I'm sure you could back me up on this. Kids don't fucking listen anyway. It doesn't matter what you fucking tell them. I mean, did I tell you the story about my little girl and Minecraft? And is it called an Ender portal?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe.
I don't know. Okay. Well, so I'm going to tell you again anyway. It's the perfect example of those little shits just not listening. She wanted to make an Ender portal, so I YouTubed how to make an Ender portal, and it's not very difficult. And I didn't know what any of the stuff. I didn't know what any of them were or where to find them in any of the menus, but I knew what they were all called, and I knew how to put them down. Anyway, I'm trying to tell her how to do it because I found out, and she just ignores me. And then I'm like, go to bed, send her to bed. Anyway, the next day I'm at work and I get a call from their mum being like, Daisy really wants to know how to make this Ender portal. And I was like, well, I tried to fucking tell her last night. I was like, she should have just listened. It's really fucking simple. And she's like, funnily, she did actually say, "Oh, I wish I'd listened to Dad now."
Oh well, at least you get a little smug bonus for it.
Yeah.
As
At
annoying
least she
as it is.
admitted it.
Oh yeah,
That's a lesson learned.
I finished work, I went round there, and I was just like, "Who knows best?" Then it's just like, okay.
Well,
Because if you do it.
very, very recently, as in like the past couple of nights, I've had to have one of my boys over because he keeps pissing about at bedtime, and his mum didn't want to take him over her new boyfriend, so I said I'd have him. He won't piss around mine. What was it, Jeeves? I was on the PlayStation with you. It must have been about half an hour after his bedtime. He knocks on the door. I'm like, "You all right?" He's like, "I've handcuffed himself."
See, I didn't actually realise he was on his own. I thought you had both.
No, it's just him.
That's so great.
It's just him. And so I went and we had a little moment because my handcuff key's a bit worn down now, and it doesn't open them first time. And he started panicking, thinking he was going to end up. I started panicking a bit, thinking like I'm gonna have to explain this. Little shit's gone through my jacket, found them in my inside pocket, in my business pocket, and stuck them on himself, little dick. Yeah.
Oh, they're such knobheads, aren't they?
The thing
is
is,
brilliant though
Can I
when they
just
do
say
shit
though,
like that.
Andy,
Yeah.
saying that it was inside your business pocket makes it sound like you're a male dominatrix.
I agree. But I was going to dodge over
Open
it.
to
As you brought it up.
interpretation, isn't it?
I didn't say that. I didn't say
Yes,
I'm not
you-
either.
This pocket's for business and this one's for pleasure. As he pulls out his truncheon.
But you know when kids just know they're fucked up, and you know he and the look on his face was so pathetic as I'm trying to uncuff him. And I've just looked at him, and he's looked at me, and I've like, "Should we not tell your mum about this?" He's like, "Can we not?" I'm like, "Just go to bed." He's like, "All right."
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I know we're going off tangents here,
No,
but
go.
I've got sort of the same situation. So it's Mother's Day, took the kids up to Asda to go and buy cards and flowers and all that sort of bullshit. Anyway, so I pick up a box of chocolates and it's broken and 3 of them fall out into my basket. So I swap it over. I leave the chocolates in my basket because I'm like, I'm going to fucking have them. There's 3 of us here. We're going to have 1 each. I'll put another box in there. We go about, and Daisy, that's my little girl, she's clocked them. And I'm like, she's like, some of those chocolates fell out. And I was like, I know they did. Shut up. Keep walking. Anyway, I'm getting something off the thing and she swipes one out of it. And I don't see her do it. And she's like, just wolfs it down. I was like, where's the whisper gone? She's like, don't know what you're on about. I was like, oh, fuck's sake. By the time we get to the till, got all the shopping, there's only 1 left. And she's like, can I have that chocolate? And I was like, where's the rest of the fucking chocolates? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, oh, go on then, just have it. Go on, naff off. Go sit on that bench over there. Anyway, we get outside, and as we're walking out, I was just like, you're such a greedy little hoe. Well, I didn't call her a hoe bag, but for essentially, it's because she's not a hoe bag. She's fucking 7. I was like, you're such a greedy little girl. I was like, how many chocolates are in that basket? And she's like, 3. And I was like, and how many of us are here? And she's like, 3. And I was like, so how many would that be each? She's like, 1 each. I was like, and how many did you have? And she's like, 3. I was like, ah! Anyway, she's eating something, and I'm like, you've still got those chocolates, haven't you? I was like, give me those chocolates. She's like, it's not. I was like, what are you eating? And she's like, this. And she pulls out a Kinder Egg. The little bastard has only gone and shoplifted with me there. Now, I don't like that. Look, I was going to let it go, but I laughed. Okay? And because I laughed, because I laughed, I had inadvertently positively reinforced this behavior, and I was like, fuck's sake, and like more at myself. So I was like, well, you're gonna have to fucking pay for it now, aren't you? More because I'm sort of chastising myself more so than the still. And she's like, well, no, I found it on the floor. And it's like, yeah, on the other side of the till. That's still their stuff, and you've still stolen it. I was like, I can't have you stealing. Anyway, I tried to drag her back in. There's a security man in the door, and I was just like, I'll just give him a fucking pound, take her on home anyway. Anyway, she bolts. I mean, she fucking tries to leg it. So I reach out, as there's quite a busy place, I reach out, I grab her hood, and I was like, get back here. Putting on that fake rage that you do. And she's like screaming, no. And I was like, you get back here right now, or you lose everything. And like, I'm getting looks from fucking everybody. I hate when kids cause a scene out in the public.
Oh, yeah.
Although technically it's me causing a scene. Anyway, I drag her around. I was like, you are going back in there and you will pay for this. You will not shoplift in front of me. And she screamed.
In
It's the
front
funniest
of
fucking
you.
thing. Oh, yeah, it's totally in front of me. My little boy's just like, I didn't steal anything. I was like, now is not the time, Freddie. You're an angel. Yeah, and I'm trying to drag her in, and she's like, no, I don't want to be spanked. And I was there, and it really took me for 6. I was like, spanked? What do you think's going to happen from this? And she's like, the security man's going to spank me. I was like, no. I'm going to take you in and I'm going to make you apologize and I'm going to make you pay for it. And I was like, and you will never shoplift with me ever again. Okay, so I take her into the security guard, fucking world's shittest security guard. I take him up to him and I was like, hello, Mr. Security Guard. My little girl has something to say to you. She's like looking down. I was like, look him in the eyes. She looks up and she holds out a pound. She's like, I took a Kinder Egg. And he just takes the thing and he's like, that's cool. And then I turned to him and I was like, no, it's very, very naughty, isn't it? And he's like, oh, yeah. Very naughty indeed. Never do that here ever again. I was just like, you are fucking hopeless. This what I needed from this is I needed an older woman. That's what I should have gone to. I don't mean to be sexist, but they would have got where I was coming from this. Yeah.
Now, I have to just say, from a security point of view, that's the worst thing. When parents come up and they want you to teach their kids a lesson, because like, I never know the level to do. I've done it before where this kid has, from that point on, flat out refused to come anywhere near the holiday venue that I work at because they didn't want to see me.
You pulled out your handcuffs and truncheon, didn't you?
I can't remember what I did, but it was obviously terrifying.
Well, I wanted to put a bit of fear into her because her thievery has got a little bit out of hand. I mean, it's nothing small, but I mean, I kind of wanted to nip it in the bud. I felt like such a fucking narc as well. It was a Kinder Egg from Asda. 2 things, which one, I think Kinder Eggs are ridiculously overpriced for what they fucking are. And 2, Asda can suck a dick. They've got millions and millions and millions and millions of fucking pounds. But it was... the only reason I took her back in is because I laughed, and I can't encourage that sort of thing. But on the way back out, she was all like sullen. I was like, why are you sullen? You paid for it now. Game over. She's like, you're going to tell Mum, and she's going to be really cross. And I was like, I'll do you a deal. I won't tell your mum. You promise me you will do no more stealing. I was like, if I hear that you've done any kind of stealing, I'm telling her, and you're going to be in the shit. Those are the words I used. I don't mind swearing in front of my kids. I like them to know how to use it in context as long as I don't use them. Anyway, and then we get to the car, and I was like, Daisy, you're in the back. I'm sick of the sight of you. Freddie, front seat for you. You're a darling. She gave him the toy though, which was quite nice. Her sharing's fine. She's like a little Robin Hood. She robs from the rich and gives to her little brother. But yeah, sorry, totally off tangent. But it was just you saying about when kids fuck up and don't want to tell their mum. Incidentally, I told her, I was like, oh yeah, don't be pissy at Daisy. I've just given her a right bollocking. She did some shoplifting, and I took her in and took her to the old bill for it. But I was like, but you don't know, right?
I bet she was like, what a fucking narc.
I felt like a narc. I'm so conflicted about those actions. I feel like it was the right thing to do because I don't want her to get into shoplifting because it's just a fucking hassle.
See, what you should have done is kept the nature of the balance of nature, and while you were in there getting her to pay for it, while he was distracted taking the pound from her, steal something else. See, that way she's learnt her lesson. You've still got something out of it. Asda can go fuck itself.
That pound isn't going in the till. That pound's going in that security guard's pocket for sure. It's going in his possum.
Better not go in his possum, the monster.
Definitely going in his fucking possum. Oh, dear. Well, sorry. I mean, that's a proper little tangent, but it made me chuckle and I forgot to mention it.
The marvellous thing is, it's probably given Jesus a lot of time to think. What about you, Jeeves? What will you... How will you pass out happy from this world?
Like you said earlier, as long as I made a positive impact on the world, or like the people around me, I don't really care. To be honest, I have quite a bleak look on life, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree. To be honest, I'm probably more enthusiastic about the death side of things than the life side of things.
Oh, bloody hell.
No, not
Wow.
because of just because like death's kind of like it's an unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, keep it breezy, Mushu. Fuck it
Yeah.
out.
No, it's not being morbid. I've got a very specific view on death, and I don't think it's something that particularly should be worried about or vilified or anything like that. I think the more you sort of talk about it and accept it, the better the easier the thought of it is. I mean, nobody's escaping it. It's happening.
No,
I mean,
that's true.
unless they invent immortality or something like that. Or
Would you want to be immortal?
well, I've always thought if you're going to be immortal, you'd need a back out clause, like a get out clause, but not one that you could do it easy. Well, because immortality is great until the world explodes, and then you're just floating through space, probably on fire, but still not dying for the rest of eternity. I mean, it sounds shit. So
It doesn't sound good, does it?
when that happens, I'd probably want to be like, yeah, all right, enough's enough. And then you do the secret handshake or something like that, the secret hand movements. Like 5 minutes of solid jazz hands means I want out,
You'd have died ages ago then. The amount you do.
But then, no, my luck,
recently-
I'd be immortal and get my arms cut off.
Yeah,
But
jazz feet.
piss.
I recently read a book called The First 15 Lives of Harry August, which incidentally is a fucking brilliant read. I mean, I know none of you are going to read it, but some of the wonderful listeners might. I genuinely recommend it. It was recommended to me by a friend, and I've recommended it to a half a dozen other people. It's brilliant, and it's about this guy called Harry August, who is, for all intents and purposes, immortal. When he dies, he's born again in the exact same situation, the exact same body. And for the first 3 years, there's no difference. And after 3 years, all the memories from the previous life or lives come flooding back at once. And like the second time round, he goes, spoiler alert, but he goes batshit crazy and kills himself.
So sorry, does he start off as a baby or as a fully grown man?
No, he starts off as a baby. He's literally born again from his mum in the exact same way he was born previously.
That's the dream. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So like that's essentially immortality. And obviously it's called The First 15 Lives. So he dies roughly at about 70 every single time. Pretty much dies of the same thing every single time. It's not a lot you can do about it. It's some sort of degenerative disorder. But yeah, would you take that, or would you just take, you stop aging now, live forever?
I'd probably take that.
Jeeves? Ooh,
I don't know. I kind of would like to know what the future holds.
Okay.
Yeah, but you remember.
Yeah, but you'd just grow up in the future.
Oh, no. He's reborn. So I was born in 1983.
Going back to the original time that he was born. So
Jesus.
So time just replays over and over again. Yeah. You're in like a loop.
Yeah.
It's like a really long version of Groundhog Day.
I thought you meant when he died, he was reborn from
when he died, like in that day and age.
Oh no!
No.
In that case,
that
would be a
fucking film, motherfuckers.
You're right, Jeeves. Sorry, that is 4 films you've seen now.
I was very enthusiastic.
Yeah, wasn't it just?
He's so enthusiastic, he's gone blurry.
That, incidentally, people, is a throwback to the episode called Movies and Wet Boys, which is a brilliant one, worth listening to.
Yeah, that was quite good.
Yeah, it was a great episode. Ages ago now, though.
Yeah, series 1.
Yeah, it was. Thoroughly worth listening to.
Sorry, mate, I cut you off.
It's fine. I
was just going to say to Soph, like, what about her? Has she got anything different to add? You're the youngest one here.
I mean,
thought about life a bit yet?
You guys know me. I am not maternal whatsoever.
Yeah, this is why I'm kind of interested.
The whole biology things, and breeding, out the window. I'm not having kids. Never having kids.
Good for you. Well done.
Unless they're furry and have 4 legs and 4 feet, then no. They're not coming in my house. Turn on that lot. But I am very family orientated,
right?
Which is quite an odd combination. But my family have always said that I look out for my own. So I kind of see myself as long as I've looked after my family, especially my sisters, like as they get older, I'll be happy. Like I'm the protector of the family. I look out for everybody. I'm the one that they all come to when they need help. So my family are my life. But as I say,
But-
I'm not maternal.
That
I will
doesn't
kick,
surprise me at all.
their ass, like in a heartbeat if they piss me off. But like, I'd do whatever. I'd kill for them and I'd kill them, basically. But as
That's
long
a
as
very weird, positive way to look at life, isn't it? It's just like, oh no, I want to talk about life. Basically, I want to murder anyone who threatens my family, but I don't want to have my
that
own
is
family.
basically.
It strikes me as a very. You complained to me the other day, Sophie, because I keep calling you a
I do that all
heathen.
the time.
No, you say because I keep calling you a heathen.
Yeah, you just went through a phase of just consistently calling me a heathen.
But then
I
you
was
You are
say
a heathen.
that. That
What's
is
your
such.
problem?
That is such like an ancient Viking or Celtic sort of way of thinking. It's like the family honor is all that matters. My life's purpose is the family name. Disrespect my family. You'd probably duel someone, wouldn't you? Like if they slurred your family, you'd quite happily hit them with an axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, no hesitation. Just like
I mean, like we've recently had a issue and an encounter in the workplace of which you've witnessed, and look how I retaliated with that.
that's
Careful, you don't want to get yourself in the shit.
That's all I just said.
Yeah, no, yeah, but yeah, I've seen your dedication to family. It's quite impressive and
Yeah,
frightening.
Frightening. I like that. Oh God, family event. Sophie's coming. Put the knives away. She doesn't like you, Uncle Tom.
Mushu says my dad's a bit quiet and knifey, so
He is. That if I had 3 words to describe her dad, it would be quiet and knifey.
Fair enough.
But it's actually my mum's side that I'm more protective of. Like
Yeah.
I see my granddad as like the head of the family, and like he's the one that I want to be sure I've made proud in life. I suppose my way of thinking is a little bit old-fashioned, but
I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it's quite.
No, it's not old-fashioned. It's the exact opposite of old-fashioned. It's really woke. What you're talking about is like a bloke who would be like the head of the family and is like really looks after everybody. Like, oh, you don't want to fuck with me? I'll get my brothers around to come and beat you up. In your family, they're like, ha! Don't fuck with me. Sofa come around and bury a fucking axe in your head. There's nothing old-fashioned about that.
A modern day shield maiden.
well,
Yeah.
I've got family up in Oxford, and I've been there. I haven't been there properly since I was little. But like one of my
Because you
cousins,
beat up all the neighbours.
they'll give me a ring. They'll be like, "So if I need you, I'll be up there like the next morning." And it's happened before. If they need me, I'll be there. But it's got to be worth me getting up out of bed for. So.
Can you do my shoelace?
Well,
I'm not sure if we've just had an advert for a Hitman sort of service or something like that. Okay, so we've got me and Jesus are being quite selfless and just saying the world as a whole needs to be better. You're saying your family just needs to be safe and protected. Sam, where were you lying?
I didn't answer. I'm basically with you two. Not you, Sophie. Yours is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You just want to beat up everybody.
I don't want to beat up people. I just want to make sure my family is safe and good and well off.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you guys. I regularly refer to my karma bank being either full or empty. As in, so if people are asking me to do favors, I'll get to the point where I'm like, nah, because I like the yin and the yang. I think things should be equal. Quite regularly do things for other people just to make myself feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I'm a bit of a cunt on Facebook, deliberately, but
and whenever you talk to me.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're not.
But face to face with people, I try to make people's day a little bit better. I mean, I don't want people to have a shit day sort of thing. I don't want to upset people deliberately. Facebook, different ballgame altogether. I couldn't give a fuck on that. It's just fun. Yeah. So digitally, not so much, but like, I'm always quite nice at work. I have to be in a proper shit mood to be an arsehole to somebody.
Yeah.
And I come in contact with a lot of people. But yeah, so more or less the same as you guys. I like that whole the idea of karma. If you treat people well, good things happen. I mean, it's often not the case. You could be as nice as pie to people, and then they'll just constantly take the piss out of you. And that is when I just cut people out of my life. I'm like, no, I'm done now. You don't enrich my life in any way, shape, or form. It's just take. I haven't got time for it.
Yeah, I mean that's why they came up with the saying nice guys finish last, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
And it's true to a certain extent because generally people are dicks. And like you say, they'll take advantage of you. If you show any kindness, they'll take advantage of it. It's
Yeah,
very
I mean,
rare that it gets acknowledged for the kindness that it is.
Yeah, there's literally I have a limit. I mean, you take the piss too much and boom, then I'll literally just be done with you. But yeah, as a whole, you're gonna ask me to do more or less anything, unless my karma bank is really, really empty, and then I'm like, nah, it's time to get a bit of karma coming back my way as opposed to the other way. It's like, no, I helped. Like I remember once helped somebody move a piano across a town on cages. Like the one that stock come in. He nicked one from McDonald's. He worked there at the time, and he wheeled it home. So this was about 2 miles. We had to get this cage in there, and then he lived on the second floor of a building. We moved a piano all the way across Eastleigh, and then up these fucking stairs. And I would never normally say yes to something like that because that is something people get paid a lot of money for. And yeah, I just did it because I was like, I could do a couple of good deeds. You know, like when someone in front of you on the tills and their debit card doesn't work. And you're just like, there you go, I got it, I'll pay for it, fuck off. Go on, just pay it forwards, see someone else. I've done that loads of times.
When you do something like that, and then you don't realise how much of a ball ache it's going to be. I think the last time I actually offered to do anyone a favour like that, I offered to tow some guy's caravan. I've driven all the way over to see it, like 20-minute drive to go and meet him. Pulled up, and I'm like, right, I don't have a tow bar. And he's just like,
no.
All right, well, see you later.
Actually, I think the last time you said you'd help someone and you didn't was me in the sofa.
Oh no, that was the last time I had. Yeah,
you refused to pick the fucking phone up to me, you prick.
Well, that's because I knew you were going to tell me to fucking come and help you. It looked heavy, man. I'm not stupid.
You offered. I was like, oh, when you need to move it, give me a ring and I'll come up. So I rung you. That's why you fucking ignored me.
Mate, that's like, if you need anything, just give me a call, right? Yeah. It doesn't mean if you need anything, give me a call. It means don't contact me unless it's really, really important. Yeah. It's the same as like, yeah, mate, I'll give you a hand. It means I'm potentially going to be helpful, but please don't ask me to actually do it because I don't have the energy or the inclination.
I mean, I'm shocked that you thought Andy would help with a physical activity anyway.
Thank you, Sophie. See, at least you understand exactly how
my lesson learned.
Yeah.
And like with moving furniture, I'm surprised he was your first port of call.
Well, he was the closest person at the time.
He has to be angry to be moving.
That is true. I move a lot faster. I move a lot more when I'm angry. Yeah, I get agitated and get all mobile. I'm like a live snake, ready to strike. Yeah.
Unless it's a spider.
Then you've never heard anything like it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Where I tried to jump ahead into death. Should we do some pacifist pick first, and then that can be a little interlude on the way into the darker side of the podcast, yeah? How do you want to start this one off, Sam? I mean, we could start off with that clip that you've got, or we could do some lighter ones first. It's up to you.
Should we do the heavy one first, the clip?
Yeah.
It's about a minute and a half long, but I think everybody's going to have a bunch to say about this.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is the clip that I think it is.
There needs to be a disclaimer that
I was going to say, probably put a disclaimer on it.
Yeah, this isn't nice viewing. You might want to fast forward a couple of minutes if you don't want to watch it. But yeah, it's pretty brutal. You don't see anything particularly bad, but it definitely has some horrible themes involved.
So
has it got animals in it?
No. It's
okay,
it's a police body cam footage. Yeah. But the thing is, if you put the Harry Hill music behind it, you could make it quite funny.
Look, music makes anything better, doesn't it? You can.
Can you mute the video and just let Sam sing a song or a little tune to?
Nah, you got to watch it for what it is because it's just an interesting one. Hit play, Mitchie. Let's get this rolling.
Here, do me a favor, turn.
Can you hear that all right?
Yeah.
Because I haven't done anything wrong.
Ma'am.
No, don't.
You're about to get tased.
Get
Get down. Get down on the ground. Down on the ground.
Okay.
Right, so he's
So
deployed
do
the
you want to
taser
just
at
stop
this
it
point.
just for a second?
If I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he said stop, and she has clearly run away. Where do you guys stand on this? He's tased her once she got into the car. I mean, she could drive away from that point. Do you think that's excessive or not?
Well, do you guys want the backstory to this?
Yes.
The run
because
up
I don't
to
know
this?
I don't know the backstory to this. I just saw this clip earlier and I was like, holy shit.
Okay, right. The run up to this is this officer was on patrol 9 a.m. in the morning. He spotted this vehicle. He's run a VIN check on it, and it's come back as belonging to someone who has warrants out for their arrest for violence and drugs. He's pulled it over. She was compliant at first. This is probably about 5 minutes into their encounter.
Okay. There was none of that. There was none of that footage.
They always cut that shit out. But she was compliant at first. Then he noticed that she had powder in her bag, and at that point it came back that she also had warrants, and that's when this sort of took off, and she started running away from him, and he's trying to put cuffs on her, and she's as you can hear, she's shouting, "You're not putting cuffs on me, I've done nothing wrong."
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, but from my perspective, she's resisting arrest on this point.
Absolutely.
I mean, so from where we're at now, I feel like, okay, fair enough. I mean, what about you, Jeeves and Sophie? Where do you stand? Because obviously you're in the security game, aren't you?
I mean, I don't see a problem with what he's done so far. Even not knowing what Andy's just said.
Yeah.
She's just tried to bolt him from an officer. Obviously he knows what's going on. There's a reason that he's asked her to stay.
Yeah,
so
he told her to get on the ground and warned her as well. It's like, you will get tased. Stop.
He gave her plenty of warning.
Yeah.
Thing is, if she was to get into that car and drive off, not only is she obviously fled the scene, but she could potentially try and run him over. You don't know what she's going to do once she gets into that car.
Agreed. Now, listeners and viewers, it does get more brutal from here, so I should just pre-warn you. But yeah, Mushu. Jeeves, hit it. That looks painful.
Yeah, that's a direct application of the taser. That's going to hurt.
Yeah. Just pulls a gun. And all carnage breaks out.
Hang on, did you say she pulled a gun?
That's what he said. I didn't see a gun. So pause it again, Moosh, because it cuts to a different angle. Which is quite funny.
Do you want to see that a little bit again?
Yeah.
Just
because it's so quick.
It does happen very fast.
Yeah. Did you see a gun? Any of you?
I didn't.
To be fair, the quality on my laptop's not overly great.
It's not very great on this either. It's just a clip, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a watch of that again quickly.
I didn't know nothing.
So the taser's not that effective.
It is when he does that.
Step out. Man, put the gun down. Put the gun down.
So he shot like 3 or 4 shots there. Let it roll through, Mishy. Let it get. Yeah. Let this.
So he's just shot a gun.
Yeah.
But potentially she has as well. But it just let it go to the end because there's more to it.
Oh, that's a nice car as well.
It's fucking beautiful.
Right,
and
you just missed what he said there.
You'll hear it again in a sec. It's a big chunk, isn't he?
Ma'am, put the gun down. Put the gun down.
I think more shots came from her than him.
Shots fired.
To be fair, he was at a bad angle and surely he couldn't have got that window from the angle he was at.
Agreed. And look, she's still driving, but she does look injured as she drives off.
She just chucked something out of the bottom, out of her car.
Yeah, it looks like the gun that I'm pointing at my screen, like you guys can see where I'm pointing. But
can you see my mouse?
Yes. Yeah. There.
Just there is the weapon. So yeah, just for
what
the
a dumbass leaving your prints behind as well.
For the sake of the listeners, what happened there was she pulled a weapon in the car. which meant he drew his weapon. An exchange happened. I don't know if you managed to hear it there because we were yapping, but when he actually calls through, he says shots fired, and then he says 23, I'm hit. So he's actually been shot there.
Yeah.
Currently, he's in critical condition. She didn't make it.
I heard she died.
Yeah. Because I mean, let's face it. What's that? 4 foot between them when those shots were taken off.
No, it wasn't far.
Really fucking close.
I mean,
there was very little distance.
No disrespect to him, but he's probably lucky he's got a bit of padding there.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I think it's gone in his favour, and it's also not gone in his favour.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of officers would have potentially handled that differently if they were in better shape.
Yep. But see, this is one of the things I wanted to say on it. Do you think he's too fat to be a police officer? I mean, I know fat shaming shouldn't be a thing.
Let me go back to the full screen.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I think potentially, yes. I think
I do.
I don't know. I don't think it should be a case of fat, because that is just literally labeling someone as soon as they come in. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
Jeeves wouldn't stand a chance if he just walked in anywhere and said, "Can I have a job?" And they're like, "No, we don't employ fat people." Would you, Jeeves?
Harsh. We've said his chest a million times. He's a beautiful beast.
I'm sorry, Mushu, but you're fatter than I am. So
yeah, I know I am. That's why I felt comfortable making that joke. Yeah, but I think ability should be judged, and I think it should be constantly judged in things like the police and the army and stuff like that. So if he goes out there and they put him in that situation, and as soon as he sees the gun, he does what they're supposed to do and moves to the rear of the car, so he's got a view on behind them.
Because he didn't do that.
He didn't move at all, which is down to. Let's face it, it's going to be down to slovenly reactions, isn't it? It's because he's not used to doing that sort of, and it's probably more effort for him and everything, whether it's his fault or not. I think largely his weight contributed to him getting shot there.
I would like to add as well, because you going on about the size and that lot, and I'm going to put it out there because, and I know you're going to complain, but being a woman in security as well, people don't take you seriously, especially I'm only 5'4". I'm quite slender built. I'm not a big, serious looking person. People don't tend to take me seriously until things get physical.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people should have that respect that they think, okay, this lady's doing her job. I'm being a dick. She wouldn't have come over to me unless she needed to. Like, why push it?
Yeah.
People need to consider that I'm in this job for a reason. I can do this job, but people just don't take me seriously.
I mean, no, I've worked alongside you and I've seen it firsthand. It does happen. People will come straight to me and ask me questions. If people find lost kids, they'll go straight to Sophie. Stuff like that. It's just like, but personally, one of my favorite things in the universe is people underestimating Sophie and then finding out the hard way. It's literally the joy of my life, just watching people getting dragged around toilet floors.
It's the only reason that
For example, to pick an example out of the air. And
should have been in there.
But then are you sort of saying that his appearance would have potentially meant that she didn't take him seriously?
Yeah. I think that probably had quite a big...
I wondered where we were going with that.
No,
sorry, I didn't make that bit clear. I just put my me.
No, yes. I'm on the same page. But I think you're right.
But I reckon if that was like a typical, like what all you see in like all of these programs and stuff, typical really big, like Terry Crews. If he come up to her, beautiful. I bet she wouldn't have acted like that at all. She would have been flat on that ground like a pancake.
Yeah,
if he told her to get down.
Tortoise.
But I think it's because of an appearance. People don't take you seriously. Like they think, anybody can wear that uniform. Like it doesn't matter who's in it.
But let's face it, she also, as Mushu said at the beginning, had drugs on her, and she was packing as well, wasn't she? Because she had a gun and she shot back as well. So how compliant she would have been, Also, she can't judge anyone based on their size because she was massive.
Well, this is what I was going to say. I mean, that sort of proves Sophie's point. in a way that like she wasn't Linford Christie, you
No.
know, but still in her mind she thought like, I've got a chance of outrunning this dude, you know.
Yeah.
She's got a car right there, and a fast one too.
But that's the image she's got. She's like, I'm going to run away from this guy because I probably can. And it was only.
Oh, you see her flip flop go flying at one point.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, right at the beginning. Good spot.
I guarantee that if he hadn't managed to grab her arm, she would have got away from him. He would have tripped on the curb and rolled over like an upended turtle, like Jesus said.
Yeah.
And it would have been comedy. But she obviously fancied her chances because she looked at him and thought, wow, he's not going to catch me. No.
I would have thought that the
fact he's on his own as well. I don't know. I didn't agree with him being on his own.
No, I mean I've never been a fan of that either. When
I agree.
When I was in the force, they brought in a rule that we were. Funnily enough, it was just after the bombings, after it all calmed down and people sort of started forgetting. They told us we were only allowed to go out one at a time. Like we weren't allowed to pair up if we were on foot patrol. We were only allowed to single man, so to speak.
Tory Britain.
It pissed me off so much because I was a tutor constable and I had to take trainee constables out with me to train them how to not get killed on the job. And I kept getting fucking pulled aside because the brass are always driving around because it's a tiny little area. They're always driving around all over the place. I'm getting pulled aside. You know, you're only supposed to be out in singles. I'm fucking training him, sir. Leave me alone. Every bastard day. It's fucking piss take. Oh, but anyway, if you're watching, sir, yeah, I was doing my job, honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I think overall that guy's health, that guy's size did not contribute to that at all. The only thing it gave him was like
did contribute.
No, didn't. Sorry, did contribute. Yeah, I think it was almost 100% of the reason he ended up getting shot there.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be funny, but like he has made himself a very large target and a very easy target to hit.
Yeah,
but you go earlier than that. You think about the fact that she was at the back of the car, stood there smoking a cigarette. He could have tased her before she got into the car. By him not being able to keep up, and maybe not dealing with that in the best possible way, probably.
He was probably, and like, I'm not blaming him for it either. I think men do tend to be a little bit more softer on women, no matter the circumstance, because they don't want that abuse being taken. Like, it's so difficult for a man to be put in a situation with a female because if they say something against them, like you just don't want to be in that situation.
Their training would put them beyond that. I mean,
you'd hope it would, but I know, and I've seen that.
Yeah, in the back of your mind.
But then clearly he's not taking his training that seriously. Because, you know, even when I was in the job, I wasn't by any means Hercules, but fucking hell, I used to go to the gym every now and then, at least make an effort to sort of.
What did you do? Just watch people?
It's just embarrassing watching everyone running away from you, and you just be like, fucking hell, I can't catch up with the people that are helping me chase the people, let alone anyone else. Like, so yeah, so I don't know. I do think it probably saved his life though as well, in terms of him probably not bleeding as much or whatever, because all that fat close up again, wouldn't it? I don't know how it works. They just bounce out again. But, and I mean, I don't mean to, you know, obviously I don't mean to make light of the situation, but he did look a bit like Peter Griffin as well, didn't he?
Oh, massively.
He did a little bit, yeah.
Pinched Joe's uniform.
Right, so shall we move on then? Shall we go on to some lighter stuff then? I'd say lighter.
Yes.
I don't know what these are. I just knew what that first one was. This doesn't sound lighter at all. I don't know who sent this one in.
Oh, no, this is me. But yeah, I forgot about these ones. This was earlier. But
I've seen a few of these.
There's two of them. That I don't know which way round they need to be. Oh, yeah, that's the right way round.
Hello. Sarah.
This is so ridiculous. Yeah. You've got to play the other one that I sent after. It's the same sort of theme.
I think this is the only one you sent, wasn't it?
So you're the guy who...
No, I sent two back to back.
Yep. Like an extra color. Is that it?
Yeah, like what the fuck happened? Like, you really
I don't know.
I think these guys are fucking mental.
Okay.
I don't know why they do this job.
Ashley, come on, we gotta go. Is there gonna be an issue?
No,
I don't want there to be an issue.
you dropped our friends off, and we just asked you to pick up one extra person.
There is an issue because.
Ladies, we gotta get back. They're waiting for us inconveniently.
Okay, well, whatever. What the fuck?
We'll go. We're in
Let's
the car.
just be fucking
I think I'm gonna
men.
cancel the ride.
Let's just.
So rude.
You get away with it.
We're right here, right now.
I'm just not gonna be sitting here disrespecting my own car.
I'm in the car right now.
Please get out.
Really?
Yep.
We can
So
work
now
through
we can wait another fucking half hour.
We
Yep.
can work through this, guys. Ashley.
Thank you.
He did it, not me.
No, keep watching because.
Entitled little prick.
Ooh, that's assault.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope.
If I can like change it around, like
Nope.
he sits up here.
That's assault.
Okay, you can stop. You can stop it there.
911.
Okay.
On the phone right now.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
sort of-
so he's literally calling the police. Look, I get it. He was disrespected straight away. They were absolute douchebags. But he goes on to call the police on that woman for. I mean, she did slap him, but really, you're gonna call the old bill because some drunk cunt's come into your cab and done that?
Yeah, it's I like I say, I don't know how those guys fucking do it, to be honest. Like the amount of bullshit I see them putting up with, and they don't make a lot of money.
Nah, they make fuck all.
I watched
At least
one.
like 25%.
I watched one thing where this guy was like, he got I can't follow that other link, mate. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Right, so the other one, the whole point of those two was that guy calls the police because he got assaulted because someone touched his face.
Yeah.
The other video I sent, some guy full on assaults him, and then the cab driver fucking reaches down and pepper sprays the bitch and then chases him through the car park. And I'm like, now that's how you deal with it. It was a 2-part one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you've just reminded me.
yeah.
You've just reminded me of a great video for next week, though. So,
Oh, yeah?
I need to try and remember that. I've already forgotten it. I don't know why I try. No, yeah, okay. So yeah, sorry about that. I tried the other link and it just says it won't allow me because I'm leaving Facebook. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg's got everywhere.
It's on YouTube though.
Yeah, I know, but it still won't let me follow that link.
Ah, well, it doesn't matter. It was merely just a comparison of the two.
Yeah, I think there should be some sort of thing with taxi drivers and that sort of thing where you're allowed to sort of give someone a good fucking hiding if they're a dick in your car.
Yeah, I mean, but then who polices it? I mean, all of these Uber drivers have got inward facing cams. And I get it because I watched half a dozen of those to try and find a decent one. That's where I found the two. I was like, okay, we'll go down that route. And I was like, all of the ones I saw, everybody was such douchebags to them. And like, I'm quite nice to cabbies when I get them because it seems like such a shit job. I mean, bearing in mind that they lose so much money because of if you've got your own taxi and you pay all your own fees, you can earn quite a lot of money. But the majority of people have to pay money to the cab company for the car. So they're only getting about 50% at most of what they're earning. So you pay 20 quid and they're going to get 10. And I'm like, it's a shit job. No, it really doesn't seem fair. I mean, and then you get taxed on that 10% that £10 that you've got as well. So it's even less. It seems like such a shitty job. But yeah, I watched a lot of those Uber driver videos.
I won't forget. Up in London, I just watched a AJ fight at Wembley, and me and my partner, and we were with another couple as well. We couldn't get back to our hotel because there's traffic everywhere. We had no idea where we were, so we ordered an Uber. Cost me like 80 quid for a 20-minute drive. But this guy, because of the traffic, he couldn't get anywhere near us, and he parked his car 15-minute walk away from where we were, came and walked to get us and took us to his car to then drive us to the hotel. I mean, he was like, I'm so sorry, I can't get any closer to you because of the traffic. But
that's pretty cool.
He didn't just reject us. Because they can do that, can't they? They can accept and reject jobs and whatnot. He actually parked up and came and walked to get us.
Have you ever driven to Wembley?
I don't drive.
No.
Have you ever been in a car with somebody driven up to Wembley?
Near Wembley, Yeah.
I've driven back from there. And it's a fucking nightmare. It's just an absolute nightmare. Hate it. Hate driving in London. And they charge you for the fucking privilege of it as well. Like you got fucking. So I got to pay 20 quid parking. I've got to pay for the privilege of driving over this postcode. Jesus.
The thing is that they don't even have enough parking for the stadium. Like the amount
That's awful.
I was creasing up like walking in because there's cars parked all over the grass and everything. All of them have a parking ticket. I'm like, somebody's had a fucking good day, haven't they?
Oh, now there's someone that earns their commission.
Yeah. I'd love that postcode if I had their job.
Yeah. Do they get commission? I thought they abolished that because it was encouraging people to put tickets unnecessarily.
Don't know.
No, they're scumbags anyway. Fuck you, parking wardens.
Right. Shall we have another video? This,
go for it.
This is one of mine. I'm going to have to just point a couple of bits out. I'm glad you can see my mouse because I had to watch it quite a few times before I worked out what was going on. But this is a little beauty I found from the Hunting Cams Awards.
Ooh.
Right. So you're aware of what hunting cams are? They're cameras that keep an eye and monitor wildlife patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Trail
that makes
cams.
sense.
Yeah, trail cams. Yeah. Hunters will put them out and they'll watch. Yeah, and it's basically an awards for the best thing picked up by a trail cam.
Oh god, this is going to be amazing.
It's so much fun. Hang on.
I've been out with people put these up actually. But people use the rednecks I was not living with, but staying with out in America. They had them all over the place.
Okay, so you can see that, yeah. Here we have a large pond. This blur here, this is what I found. It. That's a skunk. You've got the head there, body there, and the tail just coming out there. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's running over to have a drink from there. Okay, so just watch what happens.
Oh yeah, I can see it's a skunk now. Oh, I hope an alligator eats it.
But wait, who's this? It's a possum.
I'm going to push it in, isn't he?
Ah!
What a wanker!
Amazing. That's so good.
And then he just fucks off at the end. Like, that's worthwhile.
That's amazing. Possums are quality animals. They're like
that's
the
basically
spiders
what Andy would do if he was to walk past someone on a pier fishing or something like. Whoop!
I love any videos that shows little traits of humanity in animals, like these little things, just where they're walking along, just like little signs of being a dickhead. Generally, like there's no reason. Like, oh look, that skunk's perfectly happy having a drink out that pond. Doink, Rick. Let's start off. What did you do today? Not a lot. Went for a walk in the woods. Pushed a skunk in the pond. You all right? Yeah. I just thought it was brilliant. Great. And whoever put that trail cam out as well must have had a field day when they watched that.
Did they win?
Yeah, that was the winner. That was the winner.
Brilliant.
Of the competition.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I thought so.
Because of a dickhead possum.
Because of
somebody
a dickhead
got an
possum.
award.
It is. Those trail cams are fascinating. The shit you see. Some of the YouTubers I watch use them for when they go hunting, and it's just incredible the amount of wildlife that's actually out there. Just doing
scary shit on them as well. Like just weird random people walking through the woods and stuff like that. You know, well, who the fuck are you and what are you doing out at that time of night?
Yeah, this one particular YouTuber I watch, he actually had that and then went and confronted him. Some fucker had set up a deer blind on his property. I was like, what are you fucking doing? Yeah. The title of the video was way more dramatic than the actual video. He's like, oh shit, sorry, I'm in the wrong field. It just moved.
I think my worst nightmare would be watching one of those videos and just seeing me stumbling about naked, sleepwalking. Oh, fucking hell, Moosh. Why?
In your long johns with your poo pouch undone.
my pantaloons with both of the Mitchell twins out. Right, I think this is another one of yours, Sam, now.
Well, the only other one will be the nice one because I realised I sent quite heavy videos this week.
Well, there we go. To be honest, I think when you sent it across, you did say a bit of light relief.
Yeah.
So let's judge you on that.
Outside and you got.
Oh, I love the cats hate singing.
Again, and I was like,
do.
no,
I think it's
I love this cat.
because this has now been like the third time that this has happened.
Put your arms around me, baby. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
So I tested it out and I started singing, and you could see like as soon as I started singing, she goes from just like chilling to like now she's alert.
A bit of cheek.
Cat, smelly cat.
Oh, sorry for everyone watching. This woman sings and her cat just bites her face.
Baby shark.
How it goes into it
And
every
she's
time, though.
hunting, she's trying to be stealth, so you have to pretend like you don't see her. Because the second you break the focus and like make eye contact with her, and she sees that you see her, she stops. She won't attack.
Lights off, carry me home. Little dirty away. Oh.
I just want her to be happy.
It's so good, isn't
Her
it?
apartment, and I'm just her.
It's like some of them. She's actually
So
going for the
me,
throat.
I don't care with a scratch on me. Like, I don't care if I end up with
Yeah, you
a
can stop
black
it now.
eye.
I don't want to listen to her chatting away. But yeah, how
Oh,
fucking good is that? Cats are the best, man. I mean,
Oh,
like,
they are good.
dogs
I
are
am-
good, but cats are the fucking balls.
Yeah, I am starting to be sold on cats quite a lot just recently. Like they've just got such attitude, haven't they?
Yeah, I love that. They've got the best attitude of all the animals. I mean, it's a bad attitude, but it's
Well-
definitely an attitude.
One of my favourite videos for the cats is it's sat on the table and there's this glass and it keeps knocking it towards the edge of the table. And the
Oh,
woman's
mate.
like,
Watching
"Stop!"
the
And
owner.
it just like stares at her and just goes.
So there's like an hour-long compilation of cats being jerks and they're just pushing shit off. But I saw a meme once. It was a flat Earth meme, and it's like, obviously the world isn't flat, or cats would have pushed everything off it by now.
Yeah,
It's like so true. I mean, nothing left. I mean, no glasses in the world.
I think what made me laugh though is one of those compilations that I was watching with the cats being jerks. Actually had a few big cats in it, like tigers and shit like that, just being dickheads. And it's like it's nice to know that the size of the animal doesn't adjust how much of a cock it is.
Have you seen big cats and boxes? They're the exact same. You put a TV box in there, they're just like, oh, sweet. Yeah, if I fit, size sits. Exactly that, Sophie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even if I don't fit, so still sits.
I can't wait to get back to Sandown Zoo. Little plug for it there, everyone. Do support them. They need the money. Last time I went, there was a suicidal duck, and the lions didn't give a shit about it. This duck was literally like this far away from the lion. I sat there for like 40 minutes waiting for it to get eaten, and it just fucking flew off.
Amazing.
You know who the king of that pen was?
Yeah, like King Duck.
Wow. They've had some new little lynxes in recently as well, haven't they?
No, they're ridiculously cute, those things.
Yeah, because they escaped, didn't they?
Did they?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like
they escaped and they were found in a different pen.
I'll just put this out there now. If any zoo animals ever escape and end up in my custody, the zoo ain't getting them back. Right? I don't care what it is. Elephant, penguin, snake, I'm keeping it. Right? If I find
Tarantula?
it, it's mine. Yeah, fuck it. It's mine. Yeah, I'm
You
having
can
it.
have that side of the cat. You can have that side.
No, it can
You
have
could
my
just have
place.
that caravan.
Yeah, you have my place. I'll just sleep outside. I'll be fine. I'll be fine in this hedge over here. Lovely.
Oh, I'm so glad we don't live in a country where there's actual tarantulas. That would just be so shit.
You see that? There was an Australian guy who's he lived in his apartment, had a huntsman nest in it.
Oh, fuck
That
off.
shit.
And he counted, I think it was like 142, 150 huntsmen, something like that, in his apartment at one time. And he was just like, I started off throwing them out. He's like, but now we kind of just coexist. He's like, they don't bother me, I don't bother them. And he's just like sat there watching TV, and these things are crawling along the back of the sofa, and they're like the size of a fucking hand, and they're crawling past him, and he's just sort of sat there quite happily, like just chilling with his spiders.
But he's single, isn't he? He's definitely single.
Mate.
Yeah, there's no woman's coming into his flat and be like, oh, lovely huntsman infestation you've got there. Can I have a cup of tea? No?
He was undoubtedly the most Australian guy I've ever seen. Like,
man.
I tried to throw the first few out, but then they kept coming, so I just thought, fair income, we'll share the space. Like, No, don't think that. There's other
Yeah.
options before that. Kill yourself. Kill everyone else. Burn everything with fire.
Yeah,
Destroy
just burn
the
the house
universe.
down, start again.
Fuck it, yeah.
And maybe what would be my first point of call? Pest control. I mean, people are paid to sort that shit out.
Just go
I mean,
get
they're
a couple of
Australians.
something that eats spiders.
Like a cat.
Oh, just end up really fat though, wouldn't it?
I'd-
Be like
I'd-
3 spiders in, just like all podgy. It's like, oh, only another 147 to go. Just poking
Yeah.
spider legs into the cat's mouth. Come on.
Oish. Yeah, that's awful. We should try and find that clip for next week.
No,
I'll have a look. I'll have a look, see if I can find it. I don't want to watch it. I'll be turning the other way because I'm one of those people that can't watch spiders either. I don't like them.
Ugh.
But there we go. Shall we forge on with something to do with the overall general theme of the idea of the episode?
Well, what we were going to go on to was how would you like to die, given the option, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, go on. Someone hit us with one.
Well, I like the idea of something sudden. You know, did you guys see Final Destination?
Yeah.
No? Okay, well, in it, there's a scene where
Sophie.
somebody walks out into a street, and the second he steps into the street, he's hit by a bus and splat, he's dead.
Oh yeah.
I quite like the idea of that, just like an instant, and nothing. Yeah, like something long and drawn out.
or
Like
something
that would-
stupid. All done through your own stupidity for not looking to cross the road.
No, I
I
think
feel like
it was
the
more
point
about...
has been missed on you on that one, Sophie. You
I
are
purposely dodged the bullet.
You're really snippy tonight, aren't you?
I think she's fishing for Sam's and she just caught one. somewhere.
Gosh.
I'm always fishing.
Just
Just
all right,
depends where-
whatever. Yeah, a guy doing
Yeah,
something stupid. Right,
I think it was more-
next. Then
I think it was more to do with the speed, Sophie, than the actual technique.
Yeah.
I know, which is why I pointed it out.
But I was very much similar. I mean, I put posts on the Facebook post saying I think I'd like to do something heroic,
wrote-
like jumping on a grenade or jumping on explosive or something like that, save everyone else. But it's over with. Boom, you don't know about it. You literally go out thinking like, oh, I hope this does some good. You know, that's got to be quite a good way of going out. And then it's nothing, and then you don't have to worry about anything. Or go on, go on, Sam.
Yeah,
You're dying to say it. I can see from
No.
your fucking smirk.
I've had the comments up for an hour here, haven't I? We were going to do these before the other fucking videos. I want to turn the phone off. It says, or just lying on my back looking into space.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you mean?
I really, really like the stars, and I like my idea of the afterlife is sort of tied in with this, in that I think it's all energy, and obviously there's the rule that energy never dies; it just transfers.
Yeah.
But your brain is literally just electrical energy firing around. So at some point, that energy is going to get transferred to something else. It's science. And it could be anything, but from stardust we came, and back to stardust we will go, and that's the way I sort of see it. And I want to look into space, hoping that my energy is going to disappear somewhere into space. Just let me drift forever through space. That'd do me.
Fair enough. I think Elon Musk wants that, doesn't he? He wants to die on Mars.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be if someone said, like, you know, you've got cancer, say you've got like a couple of years left to live or anything like that, and then I got offered the opportunity to jump into a little self-contained space apartment and just fly off through space for the rest of my time. I'd be quite happy with that. I could say all my goodbyes before I went, just get on, and then I could just fuck off and do my own thing. That's a bit of me.
So like an airtight caravan.
Yeah, something like that, just floating through space. Just
It's
like
not
running-
bad.
The reason he wants to do that is so you can masturbate in zero gravity.
the only thing
Oh
I'd
my
have to hope,
God.
yeah, you don't want that, mate, because that's going to sneak out on you when you're not expecting it. You're never going to fucking.
That's why you do it.
Just like wake up. It's like, ah! No.
Do you think as it happened, you would be propelled backwards?
In theory, now me and Rambo wrote to NASA asking a question along these lines.
Was this
but
the gun one?
Yeah, but they never answered us. I mean,
We
I would
we got the
assume-
answer. Piercy answered it for us.
Oh,
My
that's right, yeah.
astrophysicist friend.
Well, it's going to be exactly the same, isn't it? It's expelled at a certain force, so that force would push you back a certain amount. I don't think it's a very sort of efficient way of traveling, Jeeps. You know, how fast do you travel? Oh, about 1 millisecond a year, because I travel by the power of masturbating. But no, if that's what you want to do in space, Jeeves, you crack on. I'm quite happy.
That's what you would do, you dickhead.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I'm not going to say I wouldn't, but no, my luck, I'd get caught by aliens or something like that. That'd be really fucking awkward to explain. It's like, yo, what you doing? Just floating around in a space caravan. I'd be like, just waiting to die, innit? That'd just be really awkward, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be the first contact we'd be hoping for.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, we won't go to Earth then.
Right.
Yeah, but no, there we go. So those are my two ideal ways of dying. Either that or that. What about you guys?
Either in my sleep or quickly. My worst would be from falling.
Yeah, because you got to feel
Yeah.
anyway, don't you?
Mm.
Yeah, you don't want to combine. I mean, obviously, what my worst would probably be drowning in a pit of spiders or something like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, in your sleep's quite nice, but I don't know. I'd feel a bit cheated if I went in my sleep. I'd like to know about it. I think. I wouldn't like to just sort of tuck myself into bed one night and then just not wake up, because you kind of miss the best bit. It only happens once. You want to sort of experience it, don't you? Do you not?
No, well, have a heart attack then.
Well, that's
Been
probably
there, done that, ain't you?
probably on the cards, mate. Yeah, let's face it. No, but do you know what I mean? I mean, this is what I mean, though. I've got a really weird outlook on death, in the fact that I'm not particularly afraid of it, not because I'm a macho or anything like that, just because I see it as another process of the life cycle. Like I say, everyone's going for it. It's what we're all heading towards. Who was it that said life's a terminal illness? You know, we're going there. You can be terrified of it and pray that it never happens to you, but it's going to. And I just think I don't remember being born. I haven't really done anything else of note in my life, you know. So I've had kids; they're all right. But I'd like to experience dying. You know, it's the one last thing I can do in my life. I'd like to be conscious of it when it happens.
Well, okay.
Does that make me mental?
Go on, Sophie.
Your silence spoke volumes. Don't worry.
I might actually get emotional talking about this, to be honest, because death petrifies me. Not my death, but my family's death. What absolutely destroys me the most is, so I've got twin sisters. They're 8 in April. At a stage in their life, they're not going to have my parents, they're not going to have me, and then one of them's got to live without the other. That's what breaks me.
Potentially. I mean, we were chatting about your sisters the other day, weren't we? And you were saying how they have a weird twin link. And a lot of the time, not to be morbid about your family, but a lot of the time twins do tend to go with a very quick succession of each other. But I don't think the guilt of leaving people behind, that's quite a common thing. I mean, obviously I'd feel bad. I would never want it to happen to me, purely because I don't want my kids to go without me. Once they're old enough to do what they want, you know, then I'll be a bit happier doing it. But I think age helps change perspective quite a lot as well. I think the closer you get to it, the more sort of blasé you get about it, in a way.
Yeah, the thing is as well, I haven't actually lost anybody close to me yet. And I'm fucking dreading the day that it comes, and I would love for it to never happen, but I'm very aware and that it is going to happen. It's going to happen to everybody. But I mean, I lost 3 people. One of them I was close. He was my best friend. As you know, I did all the running, in memory of him.
Actually did running for it.
Yeah, I actually did the thing. I actually lost 3 people that I knew in the space of a year. Like, I lost my best friend. My boss got murdered. And then another boss died from an overdose. So it was kind of surreal that I'd never been to a funeral. And then suddenly in the space of 12 months, I'd been to 3. And it's just made me think, it's that's got the ball rolling, thinking, oh shit, like, I'm going to be leaving family behind. And I'm going to be left behind by family. Yeah. Here we go.
There you go. Well,
it's my granddad. As soon as he's gone, I can't see much of a future.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Here we go. It's proper going now. But I can't imagine not having him around.
Yeah.
He's my best friend.
But that's fair enough, you know. And I think this is where I'm a bit shit because I'm very unemotional when it comes to death. And
This is the only time you'll ever get me emotional.
Yeah, I'm going to make the most of it while I can. No, I'm not.
You pricks.
No, I do appreciate the emotion attached to it though, and like I think it's brilliant that you're so close to your family and everything like that. And obviously, everyone's going to be upset about losing someone at some point. And I don't like it. You know, I've lost people and it sucks, but I don't know. I think it depends on you. I'm very black and white and sort of scientific. It's like I've been here, spread my seed. I'm ready to go now. Like I've bred. I've done mission accomplished.
You've done your biology.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people, when they think about death, I think it's quite a selfish attitude of like, I always want a bit more, if you know what I mean. Like, and that's certainly how my life kind of revolves. I was like, I'm not afraid of death, but I don't really want to die because I want a bit more life. You know, I want to do a bit more. So, what about you guys? Let's give Sophie a chance to recover.
It's all right. I think I'm there.
I've had the quite weird experience of being an undertaker. So
I completely forgot about this. Yeah. Go on, then, Jeeves.
Wow.
Sam's smiling like he didn't even know this. Did you not know?
No, you've never mentioned that at all, mate.
Yeah, I was an undertaker for a year.
Fucking hell.
Actually, the first time I ever met Jeeves, literally the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Oh, I used to be an undertaker. I've peeled a dead man's head off of a radiator."
Fucking hell.
Hang on, that might be the first thing you heard, but that was what other people had asked me. It was like, what else do you do other than the store work? So I said, I'm an undertaker, and they're like, what's the weird, like, most horrible thing that you've done? Like, have you seen in that? I was like, well, I had to peel someone's scalp off a radiator.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
I always find that question quite amusing, you know, when people are like, "Oh, what's the worst thing you've ever seen?" And you're just like, "Why?" I could explain it to you and you'll be like, but it won't give you the experience of seeing it, because the experience of seeing it just makes you want to throw up a bit.
It's just human curiosity.
I always say this can be broken down into like two different ways. Do you mean what is the most horrific thing I've seen, or what is the most emotional thing that I felt whilst doing the job?
Yeah, they're two very different things. Yeah,
different entities of the same coin, sort of thing. Like, have you ever seen the film We Were Soldiers?
Yeah.
Right. You know, when the photographer grabs the guy's legs and the muscle, the skin, and everything like that goes down his leg and into his. I've had that
after the napalm.
Yeah, I've had that experience. I've had that happen when I've gone to put someone onto a stretcher. That was the
horrible.
Same guy that he had the scalp.
Well, quick question, and I don't want to be too morbid, but what does that feel like? Do you know the stuff that you put flowers into? You know those like big blocks. It's kind of, it looks like sponge, and you push your finger into it.
Yeah, I know the stuff.
And it's meant to ping back out. You think it'll ping back out, but it doesn't.
But it crumbles like sand almost.
Well, yeah, but nothing comes out from it. It just sort of
just goes in.
It's like nothing else.
What you mean, like when I had this experience?
Yeah, what did that feel like?
You know, you get that slime.
Yeah,
like you can get that slime that you use to clean the center console to your car and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Where it's squishy,
but hang on,
holds together.
It's like the kids.
Sam's just like, hang on, what's this? I need one.
Well, that is what I was going to say. I've never heard of that.
I'll find one on Amazon and I'll send you the link so you can buy one.
Thank you.
And you can
that sounds like it would actually be helpful.
Like, it's like slime, but instead of like just falling apart, it's still holds itself together.
Like silly pie.
Yeah, sort of thing.
Okay.
It felt
I don't know if you can you
I
say
know
that?
what slime's like. Yeah, I hate that stuff.
Why do you have that to hand?
Has nobody else got a bucket of slime next to them? All right. No, I don't have to answer that. Carry on what you're saying, James.
That's what it felt like. It just, I literally grabbed just below the knees, and as I've lifted, my hands have just taken all the muscle, the skin, and everything like that, almost down to his ankles.
That is horrible.
And it happened like that.
So,
So in the end, we ended up wrapping him up.
I would have thrown up on him, I think.
Like a slow cooked lamb shank.
Normally, because the thing is, this guy had been deceased for about 2 weeks.
Oh, God's sake, that's rough.
He died with the heating on, and
that's even worse.
Wrapped in his blanket. So decomp was actually around 8 to 12 weeks. It was somewhere in between that. And you can always tell if it was a bad one, because if it was cold outside and the police were waiting outside, or if it was raining or anything like that and the police are outside, you know it's a bad one, and the police were outside this day.
Oh, do you get paid more?
No.
For like goofy bodies?
No.
They drip off the stretcher. Do you get a bit of extra?
The worst part is you normally put Vicks under just below your nose where you put the mask on to sort of mask the smell. Because of my mustache, I couldn't, because I had to literally, after I'd dropped this person off to the morgue, I had to go to do a funeral. So I couldn't wash my face or anything like that. So I literally just had the mask on. And it was horrific.
I bet it was, mate. It sounds awful.
But,
could you not have put the Vicks on the inside of the mask?
No, because it would have still stuck to my face.
Incidentally, I eat mints when I wear a mask just because it's more pleasurable.
That's a good idea.
I put lavender oil on mine. Chills me out on the door.
But the thing is as well is when you're doing the coroner pickups, you've got to take everything. So if like say if we've gone somewhere and they've cut their own head off, right, and it's like say they've like hung themselves, I've got to climb that tree to go get that bloody guy's head or woman's head or whatever, anything like that, you know, unless there's paramedics there who cut it up, I've already cut them down or whatever, but it could involve me having to go up to go get stuff and everything like that.
Am I wrong in suggesting that you are supposed to be doing all of this with dignity as well?
Yes.
So no ass cracks hanging out while you're going out that.
I was going to say, isn't there a job that you spoke to me about you'd like to mention whilst we're on the dignity front?
Dignity front. What job's this?
Caravan.
Oh no. We had gone to a caravan with a gentleman that was deceased. And the problem we had is caravan doors are quite narrow. So narrow, in fact, that our stretcher wouldn't fit through the door.
Wow.
So we had to put him on the stretcher and take him through the doorway on its side.
Ooh.
He wasn't a thin bloke. Right. And because of the way the corridors were in the caravan, I've had to lower my end down so my colleague could lift up to get him around to the corner. And in doing so, I've put him on my foot, right? And I've sort of said to my colleague as quietly as I could to hurry up. And when he's like, why, what's up? I was like, he's on my foot. Bearing in mind that this guy weighed, I think it was like 18 stone. Right. I hadn't realized that another member of family was stood right next to me at the time, because it's only a small caravan.
Oh,
I'm like, fuck, I'm fired. But it turned out that the family had a very, very good sense of humor, and the person that was stood behind me, she's gone back and told the rest of the family, and to which they've all replied, he would have fucking loved that, and they all started nearly wetting themselves.
It's always good. Laughter's the best medicine, isn't it? I mean, I don't think it's too bad saying, hurry up, he's on my foot. I don't think you...
You just don't know with some people, though, do you?
That's it, yeah.
And then getting him... Normally, a pickup would last 20, 25 minutes. The quickest actual part of it is picking up the deceased and putting them in the vehicle. You've got the other side of it is you've got to hand out leaflets, talk to them, explain what's going to happen and everything like that. That's what takes the time. This one took us an hour. This is how awkward it was, because he not only was he in a caravan, he also built a porch on the front, which was very
classy,
narrow. Well, I say it was a porch; it was literally just planks of wood, but that made it awkward in its own way as well. And then
I couldn't do it without swearing. I'd be swearing, kicking him, all sorts. Like one foot on the caravan, the other.
Open the fucking window.
Yeah, fuck it. Just hoof him out the roof. Whatever. Just get him out.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a job for me. That
if you have like the fire brigade and stuff like that have been called out to it as well, they can like say cut open the side of a caravan or whatever, or that lot. If we physically can't get them out, but if there is a way that we can get them out, we'd rather do that than
dignity.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam? What are your views on the whole thing?
On what?
Death as a whole.
I've already said I'd want to get hit by a bus stupidly.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So afterlife then, I guess. What do you think comes after? I've kind of covered what I think happens. I've covered what I reckon, what I'd like to believe happens. Other theories I'm quite interested in is the reincarnation. I like that idea.
I think that's a lovely idea.
Yeah, me and you worked out how many lives we are through, didn't we? And like,
oh yeah,
I can't remember how many I was through, but
I'm 10.
Yeah,
I'm on my 10th life.
How many is it you get?
I can't remember. I think like 13.
Yeah, something like 13 lives you get. And I'm only on number 3 or 4, which is great. I've got another load of lives still to go. Quite looking forward to that. But I like the idea of reincarnation. You know, get to have another go at it.
If my memory serves me right, isn't your spirit animal a salmon? I remember that. I remember Sophie doing this from one of her.
I remember doing it, but I can't remember if.
I swear it was a salmon.
I think he was. When's your birthday?
Annoyingly, something like that.
Annoyingly, I think you're right. It was a salmon, yeah. And I was really disappointed about it. Oh, it's one of these fucking things you find in like the ladies' magazines and all that. Like, you just put in your date of birth and it'll tell you what your spirit animal is and how that's going to affect your life in the world. And my spirit animal's a salmon, so basically I'm just fucking useless, isn't I? I'm quite good at swimming against the river. But
once you shoot your load, you die.
Yeah, I mean, well, there we go, job done.
Yeah, the cycle of life, meaning of life, even.
No, but I quite like the idea of coming back and trying again. The only issue is I'd need a few stipulations. Like I wouldn't want to be able to come back as just anything, because it would be shit coming back as like a dung beetle or something like that.
Isn't the point that you come back as something based on how you were in this life? So if you're a total cunt, you come back as a dung beetle. As if you're a saint, like I presume you move on into heaven or whatever.
I'm fucked then, because you can't really improve on this.
No, man.
Some people would argue.
Maybe you could edit out that little silence there while everyone was thinking something polite to say.
Us polite.
Yeah, I like the idea though, but yeah, I don't know how I'd fare. I'd hope that I reckon they'd just sort of call it blank on me. They'd just be like, I'm on the fence, just chucking back in another human body.
I don't think that reincarnation is a thing. And my only reason for this, because it's a lovely idea, but the population is constantly growing. So the number of people who die versus the number of people born. I mean, how many billions are there on this earth at the moment? Is it like 7 billion?
It's because of dogs.
Of what?
Dogs.
What do you mean?
Because if you think every life is reincarnated, it's not just humans you're talking about. Dogs are literally just good boys. They are literally good boys. They cannot fail to be good boys in their life. So as soon as they die, they get promoted up into humans, and that's why humans are all being flooded, because of all the dogs being good boys in their life and dying.
Well, I take it back. Now reincarnation is completely obvious. People need to stop having pet dogs. Good as boyos.
Cats just keep coming back as cats, don't they?
No, cats get demoted instantly
to a mouse, so they get eaten by a cat and they get turned back into a cat.
Yeah, it's an
endless cycle. Yeah.
No, cats aren't included in in that cycle because they're just sent straight from hell.
Well, there is the one of the ways that you can actually be buried is inside a pod with a tree seed.
Love that, Jeeves.
Yeah,
I've seen
this,
that. And I think
this
that's
is
the
actually
best
what
way
I
to go.
want. I want to happen with me.
As you decompose, you feed the seed, and then it becomes a massive tree.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful way of doing it. Yeah.
And
Just imagine as
graveyards
well.
are a lot less creepy.
Exactly. Imagine a graveyard, like the setup of all the lines and that lot, but trees rather than the stones. I think it'd be a lovely thing.
Yeah,
I think it would be nice to gather people up, right? So, like, say, wait until you've got 20 or 30 people who have all died, right? Chuck them in the back of a Hercules, say, for instance, in their cocoon pods, right? Fly them over a giant tilled field and just launch them out randomly with a load of grass seed and stuff like that. So they're not all in line. So it's like a big natural forest.
Just a family field.
Yeah, so it's just like a little wooded copse or something like that. But there's no sort of order to it. I'd like that.
Well, you would end up with a little plaque on your tree, Andy. Here lies Mushu, the hardest word he's ever got.
Cheers, mate. Cheap shot.
Well, that's it. Well, actually, Mushu, have you had any luck on the finding a friend front?
Finding a friend front?
Yeah, we tried pimping you out last episode.
I've had no friend requests.
Oh,
Not
what?
one. Not fucking one. You're all shit. At least like and subscribe to the podcast. Come on, it's the most productive thing I do with my life. Yeah. So no. What about anyone else?
Chuck them in. I don't think bodies should just be chucked into the rainforest. There's enough critters out there that would love it.
I can
feed them all up, would it?
There's loads of. Oh, you can't lob them in the sea because they keep washing up, don't they?
Yeah, it's problematic.
Yeah, launch them into space.
Put them in the sea with like stones on your ankles or something.
Like everything, Mushu, going into space is not the answer. It costs too much. If you built an elevator into space, different story. Then I'm saying, yeah, just give them a push. Off they fly. Aim them at the sun. With gravity will pull them in eventually. But yeah, until there's an elevator to space, it's not the answer.
Elon Musk's working on it.
Yes, he is. He keeps crashing as well. Have you been seeing his SpaceX exploits lately?
Yeah, but they're good. But crashing's to be expected. You know, it's part of the learning process, isn't it? You know, that's why they're not sending them up with people in them.
Agreed. And and they're coming down, just blowing up once they get to the floor. Almost perfect.
The answer is chuck an astronaut in it. Just tell them to get out really fucking sharpish when they land. Yeah. Like, don't piss about. Yeah, undo your seatbelt on the way down. As soon as you hit the ground, fuck it out that door, mate, because that shit's gonna blow.
Yeah, you have those. Oh no, those slides wouldn't work. They'd catch on fire, wouldn't they?
But what we will do for you is we'll film you in slow motion as you run away from it, so it looks all Hollywood. So yeah, sorry. Did you answer that question? Do you believe in what happens after life, death?
Honestly, we're just energy, aren't we?
Are you just one of these void peoples? That's it.
I think you die, and then yeah, basically, I think you decompose, and your decomposing gives life to something else. I mean, it's just a cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think that we go floating off into space. I don't think there's a heaven. I don't think there's a hell. I mean, I like the idea of, yeah, it's a nice idea, but come on. You go to heaven because you've done selfless deeds.
Whatever happens, mate, I'm going to space. Even if I turn into a ghost, I'm going to be a space ghost. I'm going to fly off, and I'm going to find far off universes with distant things, and I'm going to be all like, woo!
Thank you, Sam!
No, it's absolutely fine. I'll be a tree or something. That's why I like the idea of those tree pod things, because that does feel like the circle, doesn't it?
And the thing is, the council won't be able to cut you down either.
Didn't know that.
So it's another fuck you to the council.
Yeah, massive fuck yous to the council. Your fucking council's a right cunt, isn't he? Your politician over there, he's like saying, yeah, let's make Southampton's airport bigger. I'm like, fuck you. Oh, that's in the town I work in. But fuck off. Keep your opinions to the Isle of Wight, thank you very much. Like, fucking keep your opinions coming over to Eastleigh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be far too helpful if he kept his interests like island bound.
Yeah, why don't you build a proper airport other than Bembridge Airport? Is it Bembridge?
You've got Bembridge and Sandown.
Yeah.
Can I just say, while we're on fuck yous, can we just say an enormous fuck you to the BBC? for
Here we
being
go.
such
Oh.
enormous pricks. I thought we were going to address this a little bit earlier, but we didn't for some reason because we're probably moaning about something else. But what sort of fucking cock gets that angry about a tiny little squeaking frog that they don't let us play it? Straight away blocked. We were talking about it earlier, weren't we? That the worst that's going to happen is someone's going to watch it and be like, "Oh, that was quite good. I'll watch the whole of that program." No one's going to watch a tiny little squeaking frog and they're like, "I'm going to write a letter of complaint to the BBC. That shit's outrageously terrifying." That war cry.
It was a war cry, to be fair.
It was ridiculous.
Sorry, do that again, Anne.
No, we don't need it.
Do it again. Do it again.
That is literally it.
But
that's it. I'm writing a letter.
I just think it's petty, and I think, you know, there's people out here. We're not making money from this shit. You know, we're not doing it for anything. It's taking up our time. We do it because we enjoy doing it, and that sort of shit's just fucking pissing on everyone's bonfire. So fuck you, BBC, you bunch of cunts.
Yeah, true. And I would say where I shared the video, but I just don't want people watching it. I don't want them getting fucking clicks now. Stupid bunch of pricks.
Yeah. We'll put the link for my possum video in the in the description. We'll just watch that over and over again. That's all the nature you need. The BBC can go suck a dick.
We'll have to find another video of the same frog.
I bet we get sued now by the BBC. So
I mean, go for it. They're all a bunch of fucking pedos anyway, aren't they?
That's very true, yeah.
They're not going to see it. They're busy pumping out fucking news about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, aren't they? Just to cover up the fucking other pedos in the royal family. That's all they're doing at the minute.
That whole thing's getting awkward, isn't it?
But, I'm sick of fucking hearing about it. Leave the cunts alone. They've left the royals. Just let them fucking get on with their Instagram
page. They've left the fucking country. Why are we still hearing them?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I don't... as I say, Maishu, I just think it's a circle of life. If you say, as you were saying earlier, energy never ended. So you die, it goes back into something else, nourishes something else.
You see, the mistake I always make when I come up with ideas for podcasts, I'm like, oh, we could get some conflicting views and all of that, and I forget we all think largely along the same thing. So it's like one person will be like, well, I think this, and everyone's like, yeah,
you kind of agree.
Yeah, I mean, we need to have someone that just completely disagrees with everything. We expected that from you, Sophie. To be fair,
I thought that's why Sophie came on board.
The thing is, though, I'm one of the lads. I do think a lot like you guys. Yeah, okay. I've got me perks where I'm different and whatnot.
Works, not perks. There ain't no perks from it. See? It is a quirk on the other hand.
And see, we already disagreeing. So.
Maybe you are doing your job. Maybe you are. So,
I'm just subtle.
Who do we go for? We've got two people left to answer that. Yeah, I'm smoothing over that as well, guys.
Jeeves.
Do you think Jeeves?
I think Jeeves.
Go on, Jeeves. Hit us with it. What do you think happens?
I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. I have had moments where I have actually been close to death, and I've had nothing, no light at the end of the tunnel, no nothing like that.
You're also the only one of us who's had any kind of paranormal experience, aren't you?
No.
Oh, well, Sophie's here now. She wasn't part of the podcast when we were doing that.
No, I wasn't. You would have had a whole episode on me otherwise.
Oh, that would have been
story time with Sophie.
Yeah.
Oh, would have been that one.
Uploaded it as Sophie, me.
Yeah. I'm like that little Muppet. You know, the orange one.
Yep, you are.
Me.
Yeah, but the thing is that all of that happened was a separate event to what I was just talking about. Like I suffered with hypothermia. I remember saving someone that went into the sea in the middle of winter, giving them all my motorbike gear, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up in hospital.
You fucking legends.
I suffered with hypothermia.
So many questions.
Nothing.
Why were you in motorbike gear in the middle of the sea?
I wasn't. It was down. I'd met up with my friends down Apley who were all drinking, and I had my motorbike. I wasn't drinking.
There we go. Good.
A friend of mine decided she wanted to go swimming in the sea, even though she can't swim.
That would
Oh,
be me.
booze.
That's drunk logic. You gotta love it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah,
love it.
gives you that confidence.
How hard could
Just
it be?
go for a
He's
shallow
bastard.
paddle.
I fucking see fish doing it. They're well done. Woo.
But you're not religious though, are you, Jeeves? Like overly religious, are you?
I used to be a little bit religious, not anymore. I haven't been for about
And you grew up.
20 years. I haven't. The only time I've set foot in a church is at a funeral.
Yeah. No. Okay, fair enough. What about you, Soph, then?
I love the ideas of like the afterlife and reincarnation and that lot, but there's no true way of actually finding out if it's there or not. So until I see it, I don't believe it.
You're just going to flat out deny it exists. No, it doesn't happen. Until it happens to me, it doesn't happen.
I'm open to it. I'd absolutely love for it to be real, but
No, I think
until we
that's
can
fair
prove
enough.
it.
Not bothering to guess is as good as just making a wrong
No,
guess,
if it
isn't
happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, it's out of my control. Whatever's going to happen, isn't it?
But you're
There
not
have
heaven and
been
hell-
some
Sorry,
really. There's been some really, really interesting cases over the years with regards to reincarnation of like kids who all of a sudden, like once they're compos mentis and they can start writing and reading and talking and all of that sort of stuff, writing down like family names and addresses and locations and ways people died and stuff, of people who have died like 20 years before. I mean, I know I dismissed it earlier, but it wasn't until Sophie started talking that I just realized that there are actual cases that are a bit weird and a little bit sort of creepy out there. I don't have any particular examples. There was something I vaguely recall something in an Australian woman. She had like an entire family history she just knew as a child. She was writing it all down, and people were like, "Oh, maybe you're the reincarnation of such and such."
So you're saying about Australia as well. There was somebody had a little son as he got to the age of talking and writing that lot. He started describing a house that he used to live in, and like the parents were quite like, "Okay, what the fuck." And then a picture of Princess Diana come up on the TV, and he was adamant that that was him. So then they looked into like the description of the house that he'd given them. And it turned out it was her house in Scotland.
Huh.
Like he was describing the unicorns and everything, like the wallpaper. They were Googling like pictures of inside and they were just like, what the fuck? And,
yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
He was going on about how he had 3 sons because they were just like, well, she only had 2. But apparently not. She actually had 3. She actually had 3 sons.
Did one die or something?
According to a kid who was claiming to be the reincarnation of her, though.
Oh, no, in this video, she would put up all of the evidence as she was talking and explaining like where she'd found it and everything.
Well,
and
I know
found
Prince
it quite
William and
intriguing.
Prince Harry. Who's the third one?
I can't for the life of me think. I'll look it up and let you know. But yeah, it was
certainly isn't a royal.
I don't think he was.
I like all that sort of stuff as well. I find it.
But
I
it's
find
cool.
it
It's intriguing. Yeah.
Is it proof of an afterlife? Oh,
Is
it?
It's not proof. It just makes you question, though, doesn't it?
You know
Because
what?
it's
Do you know
weird.
what would be awesome though? Is if you died and you could just ended up in a big hall in front of like some fucking death, say. And he stood there and he's like, right, what do you want to do now then? You can have another go and haunt someone. We've got heaven open, hell's closed for cleaning, but give it 5 minutes, they'll be up and running. Up to you, mate. You give it a shout. What do you fancy?
Yeah, there's a queue for heaven.
That would be amazing.
Shortest queue for me. Oh, cats. Yeah, fuck it. I'll have one of them. It's 20 years, isn't it?
But then you look at the concepts of heaven and hell as well. Sam, I'm looking at you here mainly because it's most likely to be you. Were you ever a fan of Blackadder?
Yeah, I watched
I like
it.
that.
The description of heaven and hell, where he was the Archbishop of Canterbury and he had to try and get this guy to leave all of his money to the church or whatever, or not. But he's trying to big up hell. And he makes a really good point. He's like, no. Heaven's full of all the boring people that do all the good stuff all the time. It's literally just like watering pot plants and stuff like that. If you go to hell, you get the sex, the debauchery, the violence, the smoking, the drinking, and all of that.
This is what I was getting at earlier when I'm just like the concept of heaven and hell are predominantly Christian, aren't they? They're Christian religions. It doesn't matter which one. It's always Jesus-based Christian religion. And the fact that you can go to hell for, say, adultery. That's a good one because you mentioned sex in there. I mean, so what? You have to spend an entire afterlife in hell because you fucked somebody else. But animals are just fucking left, right, and centre. It doesn't fucking matter, and they do it without consent. So, does that mean that if you're married but you are a swinger, you're going to hell because you're technically not fucking your spouse? Or like in the Jewish religion, it's a sin to have a wank because it's a waste of seed, which is why they've got such big families. Catholicism, you can't use contraception if you're a proper devout one. I'm like, so what? All of these are reasons that you go to hell? Fuck off! I'll go to hell then. I mean, it's like, what do you want me to do? Go to heaven and follow all of these ridiculous rules? Like, I understand the rules. They're like archaic and they predominantly there to keep you safe, aren't they? It's like I think it's halal and Jewish religions don't eat pork, but when the religion was made up, it's inverted commas there for listeners, there was no refrigeration, and gone off pork is so dangerous. You eat it, you fucking die. It's like as simple as that. So it's like if religion came about, if technology came first and then religion came, I bet pork wouldn't be deemed as a dirty animal, considering that pigs are enormously clean. They just roll in mud to keep cool. Yeah. That's why I think the ideas of heaven and hell are total bullshit, because what? Just the idea of going to fucking hell because you used a condom. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
What a fucking ridiculous situation. Or you got you're pregnant with a rape baby and you have an abortion. I mean,
you're going to burn in hell because of that.
Yeah. Fuck off! It nonsense, absolute nonsense.
But you look at the whole sort of like, let's pick Christianity for instance, because they're the most passive aggressive religion ever, aren't they?
Oh, aren't they just?
It's like worship Jesus because he loves you. You know, God will eternal love will be coming your way. If you don't, you're burning in the fires of hell forever. But it's your choice, isn't it?
You're going to get left behind with the rapture.
It's a little bit on the sort of pushy side, You're like, well, I don't know. It doesn't really leave a lot of room for procrastination, does it? It's like, well, I guess I'm doing what you want then.
Any of you Catholic?
No.
Any of you been to confessional?
No.
Oh, bollocks. No, I've got genuine questions. I want to know, because I've never been to a confession, because I'm not Catholic, I'm C of E. That's what I was baptised and confirmed as, which is the best of all the religions, because Henry VIII just he just deleted the bits he didn't like so he could get divorced, didn't he?
That's what I'd do. Yeah,
fucking legend. Yeah. It's just like, it's all right. People like a bit of religion. It gives them a little bit of a feeling of community. They get to meet up every Sunday in their finery and they go and have a nice big lunch. But I want to know with confessional, because I've never been, I've got like 37 years worth of sin behind me. And I mean, there's quite a lot of fucking sin. Would I have to go from start to finish? And then they make you say prayers, don't they? 10 Hail Marys, 9 Our Fathers, and then you're absolved of all your sins. Would I have to say like 500 Hail Marys, like 1,000 to catch up for it? Or do you reckon it's just we'll absolve it all, 2 Hail Marys and 5 Our Fathers?
You'd probably be the only person in the world that would have to make appointments.
Oh, well, yeah, probably. I mean, I imagine you will as well, Jeeves. Come on.
You never know. It might be a case of like after 7 years, they sort of wipe it off your record.
Like credit rating.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'd be there forever. And what if you forget something? You're there for like 3 days just listing off all of the shit, and you still end up in hell because you forgot the time that you fucking super glued your handbags, your teacher's handbags to her shoulder, or something like that.
Yeah. Do you have to list individual things, or can you just like, bump masturbation or casual sex into one lump sum? Many occasions of this, many occasions of that.
I think you can do that. Copious amounts of masturbating. Ridiculous amounts.
Yeah, like every time you took a drug that's illegal, or
And they're
or
like,
ate bacon.
can you put a ballpark figure? You're like, no.
How many
really
days
not.
are in a year?
Lots and lots and lots.
I just wonder how that works. It's not very popular, is it? Going to confessional. I don't even know if the priests still sit in the boxes.
And I had a really unpleasant experience once where I had to take a shit in a church. And
you probably shouldn't have done that, Mushu.
Yeah, I'm not going into the story. I was very drunk and I'm not proud of it. But what if I had to go and confess to this guy and be like, oh,
no, you've got to go into this now. Oh, come on, guys. You must want to hear this as well.
You didn't think a confessional booth was a shitter, did you?
No, I didn't shit in the church. It was in the grounds of the churchyard. Sort of like, it might have been in the door because it was a nice little alcove. It's kind of like a thing. I was so drunk. I wasn't thinking very straight. I was a kid.
That's not good.
I mean, I've not set myself up well if there is a heaven and hell. I'm going to say that now. But yeah,
you were burning into hellfires.
It was going to fall out of me. I had no choice. I'd been on the Baileys that afternoon. I was so pissed.
The Baileys.
Hard
and
stuff.
It was.
Oh my god! But it's
he had it in his coffee.
So
I love that.
It set me gut right off, and I still had a train journey. I had to catch the train from Exeter to Plymouth.
Hang on. Where in Exeter were you shitted in the church? It wasn't the cathedral, was it? I used to live near Exeter.
No, it wasn't in the cathedral. I don't think. I don't know. I didn't really take in the architecture, to be honest. It was more like dashed in, dropped the old cax, did the business, wiped up and left.
What did you wipe with?
Oh,
this is why you didn't want to go into it.
See, this is another thing I'm not proud of.
There was an old man stood next to him and he had like really long robes on.
No,
I was going to say, did you use the thing that you meant to scrape your shoe on? You know, those like
the dust brush. No, I used my underwear.
Oh, you
and then
did you leave your underwear behind?
I hung them on the handle.
No, you're a bad human.
I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do it as a malicious thing. I wasn't thinking. I was pissed. I really feel sorry for whoever had to clean that up the next day.
Oh God!
I really
did. You write something political like free Palestine or something like that, or the opposite? Because
the only writing medium I had was was not something I was willing to write with.
Fuck's sake,
yeah, but could you imagine? Yeah, I know. I'm not proud. Look, people are gonna find out over this fucking podcast that I'm not a decent human being. All right, I'm barely scraping by. I'm not pretending to be anything I'm not. All right. But yeah, imagine confessional. If you've got to go and do it with him, and he's like, "Oh, so, what are your sins?" I had a shit in the church. He's like, you little bastard. It's like 3 hours I was on my knees scrubbing that. It's like, I'm coming in. I just find the whole thing really awkward, like just sitting there and telling someone everything you're ashamed of. I don't know.
I think that was made up by priests because they were so fucking bored and they wanted to get the gossip.
Yeah, possibly.
Back in the olden days, just like they really wanted to know what's going on
as well, couldn't they?
Yeah, I suppose so. Shouldn't really.
Shouldn't, but would.
You get the old Catholic wives in there giving it all the stories about their husbands off at sea and all that. That's some good knocking one out material. You've got your own private little room. You can sort of stare at them through the grate. It's there you go. I'm not a big fan of religion. I don't know whether it shows.
yeah, it's not good.
No.
I'll just have a quick look. Okay, one last quick question, then I think we should wrap this up because it's been going on for quite a while now.
Yeah.
On the death front, what would be the worst way to go? Jeeves, I know you already answered this, mate. Falling would be absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, that would be absolutely awful.
If I'm honest, I don't even think I'd actually I'd be awake to hit the floor. I think I would actually pass out before then.
A lot of people have said over the years that apparently if you were to, like, you know, the people who jumped out of the 9/11 buildings, what was it, the Twin Towers 9/11 buildings, fuck's sake. When they jumped out of the Twin Towers, a lot of people theorised, so that's not the right word, that you would have a heart attack and be dead before you hit the floor anyway, just because of the fear of landing.
That's not necessarily true. There's people that
No, because it takes a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the highest free fall or something was 30,000 feet or something like that. The highest free fall without a parachute, and she survived.
Really?
Yeah, Russian air
Well, I mean, not
stewardess,
everybody.
If anyone's
but...
interested. She Russian air stewardess. She got sucked out of a plane at 30,000 feet, landed in a snowdrift. I think she broke her leg. And I think
that's amazing. That is amazing. And then she got froze to death and eaten by a polar bear, yeah?
Although I think, no, she survived, but I think her record's just been broken by someone being a dick for one of these Red Bull things by jumping out and falling in a trampoline.
A trampoline? Surely
Yeah,
they
skydived out of a plane and they had a net suspended like a couple of 100 feet above the ground, which they landed in, and then
I think I've seen that.
Like a trapeze artist.
Yeah, but he took the record away from her. You know, the only thing she had from that traumatic experience being sucked out of the plane was her world record. And then
did she not get?
Fuck you, we're going to take it.
Well, to be fair, she still got the one up on him though, because he used a net. She didn't.
That's true.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
hers was organic. I bet neither of those people were Americans, though, were they? Big, chunky Americans.
He's gone straight through.
Splat. Yeah. I mean, that breaks the record. He ended up in Australia. Well, come on, Sophie. What would be your worst way to go?
Not necessarily worst way for me to go, but I wouldn't want to go in front of my family.
No, okay. That's fair.
Because I know that will be leaving. I don't know what they'd be seeing in me. Like, whatever age I go, I just hope. I kind of want to be on my own.
Sort of like leave them with a decent, strong image of you rather than. That's
like if I was to ever get Alzheimer's or something, I'd rather them remember me for who I was before I started to deteriorate.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
So that's kind of the lines, and I'm very vague lines that I'm going with.
So you'd quite happily be set on fire and slowly burnt at a stake as long as your family couldn't see it?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I've wondered what it's been like, what it'd feel like to be on fire.
You've probably done it in a past life anyway, because you're almost definitely.
I nearly said that. I've probably been there and done that.
Yeah, almost definitely. Worst way?
Yeah.
Right, theoretically,
spiders.
The worst way. I know I said spiders, but the thing with spiders, you get used to them after a while. After you don't get bitten by.
After you're there crying yourself.
Yeah, I think for me it would be to be slowly paper cut to death whilst being in a room with a light misting of vinegar constantly.
So torture.
That's very creative. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
torture to death.
Yeah, I mean that'd be pretty shit.
I've always said I'm not a squeamish person at all. I've seen some of the most horrific things you could imagine. One thing I cannot handle is paper cuts. That just thinking about them makes me feel sick.
They're pretty nasty. They're always in horrible places, aren't they? Like between your fingers.
Under your nail.
What was it? On Jackass, where he did it all between his toes and his fingers.
I mean, we don't.
Man, yeah. We
don't need to go into that. But that's probably the worst way I could think of going, just off the top of my head. What about you?
It's pretty bad. I think a car crash and burning to death stuck inside it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty shit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, not being able to get out. Like, I literally always have a penknife on me or on my car keys, just so if that happens, I can cut my seatbelt and get out.
I used to carry a knife all the time as well.
So that is the reason I have redundancies. I've got one of those car torches, you know, the ones that have got like a window shatterer and a seatbelt slicer. I in my car, in my driving thing, I have at least 3 ways to cut myself free of a thing, because having a car crash, getting stuck in it and burning to death is right up there for me.
Pretty bullshit. Yeah, okay.
That'd be awful.
Yeah,
for me, I think that'd be the worst way to go.
I mean, drowning in a car probably wouldn't be too good either.
Well, yeah,
you could drive off a bridge or something.
Could only pick one.
I've seen the Transporter 3 though, so I know all you've got to do is get out the car, go to the tyre, let the air out, and you can live off the tyres, the air in the tyres.
Not if you've got argon in your tyres, mate. Not enough oxygen in it.
Well, there you
Jeeves, you back me up on that?
Yeah, there's also some companies use nitrogen.
They do. I chose the cooler sounding one, though. I never get to say the word argon.
We do now. That's the stuff they
argon
power
gas.
fridges with, isn't it?
That's Freon.
That's Freon.
Weird smell, that. I was once defrosting a freezer with a knife because that's the tool that you use for it. And that one chop, and it started hissing, and I was like, fuck. Shut the door. I was moving out anyway. I was just being nice to the new people moving in.
What, by giving them woozy time on their first night there?
Yeah. I just decorated the whole flat. It's not the only time I ever decorated a place when I was leaving it. Yeah, just decorated the whole place.
I feel so lightheaded.
Yeah. It's chilly, though.
You saying that? Did you see that Morrison's got shut earlier because it had one of the...
I was in there like 10 minutes after it reopened. I didn't know anything about it. Yeah. I saw the guy fix it. One of the fridges started leaking, so they had to evacuate it.
Leaking it
is that
gas.
Is that shit toxic?
It's not
I'd
good
assume
for you,
so if they had to evacuate the whole store.
Oh, well this is about 20 years ago I did that, but fuck, I didn't realise it. Like proper sprayed in my face.
I think that's why you can't just take fridges and freezers down to the tips. You have to get them disposed of properly because of the gas.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
I remember seeing an episode of Captain Planet actually, and they were the bad guy was sawing fridges in half to release all the gases. It all makes sense now.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Right, well, let's wrap this baby up then. We've pondered the extremities of life and death, and I think we've come up with precisely zero fucking answers to anything. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening to us and everything like that. As always, please do comment if you've got any comments on the show. Do stick something down and stick it on Facebook as well. We'll work out what you're relating to. But it would be interesting to hear other people's points of view on this one, especially. I think anyway, and like and subscribe, and get other people to like and subscribe as well, because we've hit our target now of 100. We want more. We've got taste for it. Yeah, we've got taste for it. We want much more now. 200.
Yeah, I stopped pushing it once we hit the target. It's too much work.
Yeah, but I'm still going to pimp it out to anyone that's still listening. Right, cool. So until next time, toodaloo.
See you later.